What's good, Internet? My name is attackslug, and welcome back to my Let's Play of WWE SmackDown vs. Raw, that PS2 game playing through a PC emulator, and today, well, yesterday, betrayed by RVD. Imagine that. I have a long and storied history with RVD in these old SmackDown games, so today, let's see how things pan out. Trying to get my stuff situated here. This camera is all
a lot of people are
screwed up. I'm sorry.
I did what I did last week.
Yeah, I'm wondering, RVD, why? How good was that week?
Over the past 3 weeks is completely true.
What?
No offense intended here for the WWE champion, that his challenger is going to eventually go in history as one of the greatest champs of all time.
Okay. I mean, but then...
So he goes to WrestleMania as the champion and wins? No. Then I got to hear about what a great big superstar he is. I'm not having it. The superstar here is Rob Van Dam.
But you're not the champ, RVD.
Don't worry about that. It's not going to happen. He's not going to win at WrestleMania.
First of all, JBL, you should be worried about No Way Out.
See, the problem with that punk is that he believes his own hype. He thinks he's the greatest wrestler to ever set foot in a WWE ring.
When did I ever say that?
His ego is totally out of control, and he doesn't realize that all the boys in the back and all the fans want to see him lose that title and get the beating of his life.
It almost sounds like you're talking about yourself, JBL. Who's that? Could it be? Is it? Is he here? attackslug's really here. So that's what you guys think, huh? Well, I've got an idea, RV Weed. If you want to give me the beating of my life, why don't you step in that very ring with me tonight and try to do it without hitting me from behind with a solid steel chair this time? Nah, bruh.
You're on.
Okay.
The challenge has been accepted.
Thanks, Cole.
There's a lot of bad blood here tonight, Cole, and I wouldn't be surprised if we saw it flowing by the end of the night.
Don't you mean great balls of fire? So RVD is allowed to bring JBL to the ring, but I can bring no one to the ring. That seems a little bit unfair, but considering my actions yesterday as special guest referee, I suppose that makes sense. Anyhow, I welcome you to a fine Monday. Not a whole lot of wrestling news in terms of backstage stuff to discuss today, but obviously Payback was last night, and I have plenty of thoughts here on the pay-per-view experience that was Payback and how it, moves things forward in terms of Raw, in terms of SmackDown, and all that stuff. Obviously, Raw is tonight, and there were certainly some surprising victories last night, although from what I hear from the dirt sheet, some of those were changed last minute. Some of those were potentially supposed to go the opposite way, but then things leak out, and WWE's like, you know what, screw that, we're going to change it. So starting with the kickoff show, I got to Grimm's house at like 7:30, and so I missed the only match on the kickoff show. Also, welcome to Moveset Monday. P.S. It's Moveset Monday. So, yeah, I totally missed that match with Enzo and Cass in the club. I heard Enzo and Cass won. I have no intentions of going back to watch it, but, there's just pre-show fire at this point, which is weird. I did catch the Miz TV angle with Finn Balor, and surprise, surprise, Miz ends up getting beaten up at the end of Miz TV. That's kind of the most predictable thing in the world, but that's okay. Sometimes in wrestling, predictable is good, but the biggest takeaway from that bit of beardness is that Finn Balor says that he is going to get his title. Now, obviously, Miz brings up the important point that his title is around the waist of Brock Lesnar. And Brock Lesnar, not a guy who's keen on showing up until Great Balls of Fire. And I don't envision Finn getting that German suplex. Getting that, he will get that German suplex. But I don't envision Finn getting that particular title shot at that pay-per-view. I think it's more likely to be Braun Strowman, but that's a whole different discussion that we can get into a bit later in the show today in terms of what happened in the main event, which was there was no... The highest belt being defended on this show was in the first match, and that was the US Championship, which was Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho. Now, this is the only time that I can recall when... Nice miss there, RVD. He's so high. The only time that I can recall that we had a defense of a title between two guys on different brands, and the title stayed on the show it was on. Not the title changed hands. Chris Jericho, your new U.S. champion, which nobody called really, because the smart money was Owens, because Chris Jericho was going back to do Fozzy stuff. But the betting sites, the gambling community, they totally changed the odds to Chris Jericho a few hours before that show happened. So at that point, smart money was on Jericho, but it's still kind of illogical. For one, belts usually go where the winner is. And now I have the steel chair. He's solid. That's right, JBL. He's shocked. He's shocked. Yeah. Come on, JBL. You want to bully somebody? Come on.
I'll tell you, this Sunday's WWE title match at No Way Out is going to be off the chain.
Off the chain, Taz. Off the chain. Like Curtis Axel. The chains are off. Yee, yee, yee. And at this point, that is a fairly obscure Curtis Axel reference, but, is what it is. Social Outcasts, now trending worldwide, baby. Let's go take that title from JBL. We get our No Way Out pyro. Then we'll have the announcers. We'll recap the parts of the feud that never actually happened on this show.
This is No Way Out.
Of Texas.
SmackDown live on pay-per-view. I'm Michael Cole here with Taz at ringside. And Taz, could you imagine a bigger main event than the one we've got tonight?
No way, Cole. A WWE title match here at No Way Out doesn't get any bigger than that.
What the heck is Eric Bischoff doing here?
Good question.
This isn't Raw.
Kane's the world champion. Who is the guy next to Kane? I honestly don't know. I honestly can't tell who the guy next to Kane is. I'm sure the game will tell me here in a second, but that's baffling.
I know you're all wondering, why am I here?
Yeah.
So I'll get right to the point. WrestleMania is 1 month away. And so I'm proposing we make it the biggest WrestleMania ever.
Title for title.
I'm proposing that in the main event, for the first time ever at WrestleMania, a unification match for the WWE and World Heavyweight titles.
Okay.
Both brands' champions compete in one match to prove which brand is the dominant brand in sports entertainment. So what do you say, Kurt Angle? Have you got the guts to put your title on the line?
You suck. You suck.
Have I got the guts? Look at my career up to this point. I'm an Olympic gold medalist. And that history will continue to be written, beginning at WrestleMania. Of course I accept.
All right.
The WWE and World Heavyweight titles will be unified at WrestleMania, Taz.
We're just not going to address the guy in the red trunks at all.
I can't believe it. Just when I thought tonight's show couldn't get any bigger, this happens.
I have no idea who that is. I have no idea who that is. Oh, it's so bad. And we're backstage. Oh, hello. Trish Stratus, I think.
Hey, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I've been meaning to say hi to you for a while. It's just kind of tricky to do when you're not on the same show. But I watch SmackDown every week, and I've got to say, you're incredible.
Why, thank you.
I asked Eric Bischoff to bring me along tonight just so that I could meet you.
Okay.
I really like what I've seen of your show so far. I'd love to be on it, so I can get to know you better.
Just don't put me in a battle royal, that's all I'm saying. Oh, that's gotta be Kane.
Trish, there you are. Come on, it's time to go. What are you doing wasting your time with this jerk anyway?
Look here, Mayor Kane. You're a grandpa. You were literally a grandpa. Relax.
Come on, Trish. We're leaving. See you around, chump.
Relax, Kane. I know you have a penchant for kidnapping divas, but relax, Kane.
Did you see that, Cole? We almost got a sneak preview of WrestleMania right here.
Can I fight JBL now? Elsewhere on No Way Out, Charlie Haas and Rico lose to Mark Jindrak and Bubba Ray. We have a triple threat. Rob Van Dam, Eddie, and Taker wins that triple threat. And I'm fighting JBL with the lovely Tori at ringside, because why not? Anyhow, so yeah, Jericho's your new champion, which is crazy, because now he's on SmackDown, but he's supposed to go on tour with Fozzy, like, shortly. And your number one contender for the US title on SmackDown is AJ Styles. So either Jericho is losing to AJ at Backlash, or Kevin Owens is going to have his rematch clause on SmackDown this Tuesday and win the belt back, and then we get Owens and AJ at Backlash. Either way, they definitely swerved us, because everybody expected Kevin Owens to win that match, because Chris Jericho is leaving to go on tour with his band. Anyway, next up was Neville and Austin Aries, and Austin Aries did win the match, but he won the match because Neville got himself disqualified by putting his hands on the referee, so that is going to, I guess, going to continue that feud until Extreme Rules, which is the next Raw pay-per-view. Good match. I enjoyed it. After that was the Hardys and Sheamus and Cesaro in that tag team title match. Jeff Hardy lost a tooth. His tooth was broken. His tooth got deleted, if you will. And then Sheamus and Cesaro turn heel after the match and attack them and viciously assault them, and that might just be what turns them broken, if the rumors are true and they actually bought that gimmick. So I enjoyed that pretty much, although I'm not going to boo Cesaro. He's still Cesaro. He still does amazing things in the ring. It's kind of hard to boo the man. And Sheamus is still Sheamus. So I suppose we shall see how that plays out this evening on Raw tonight. Whether or not things are delightful and wonderful, etc., etc. After that was Bayley in her hometown fighting Alexa Bliss. That's creepy. Don't do that smile, JBL. It's creepy. And I can't remember what I put in my predictions, but I do know that I should have, I think I might have picked Bayley here. And I should have gone with the common sense, which is they hate having people in their hometown actually win. And they were in Bayley's hometown, and Alexa Bliss won. And man, Alexa Bliss, for being on the main roster as short as she has been, it has been a rocket ship for her. They're definitely way behind her on whatever they're doing with her push has been crazy, because she's two-time SmackDown Women's Champion and now one-time Raw Women's Champion, and the first woman to do both. So they're definitely pretty much pushing her to the moon, which that's fine by me. She's the one person, outside of, say, maybe Charlotte, that when she's on the microphone, she sounds like a human being, because everybody else just sounds like a freaking robot, and it's not great. So being able to talk naturally, even if it's scripted, being able to sound natural is a huge component of getting over as a wrestler. So kudos, I guess, to Alexa, and we'll see how that stuff moves forward. What was after that? After that, here we go. The House of Horrors, the first half of the House of Horrors, they bought a dilapidated house in, Kansas or Missouri or wherever, and had, it wasn't even that creepy, it wasn't even that spooky, it was a House of Horrors that honestly was okay, it's a house, and it's dirty. I've seen dirtier houses. They had a big old fridge, they put dirt on it, they wrote, what was it? We're here, and Bray Wyatt tipped the fridge on Randy Orton. By the way, Randy Orton wearing pants, which is unusual. If you watch the career of Randy Orton, you know it's unusual for Randy Orton to be actually wearing pants for once. I even made a joke on Twitter days ago about, wow, Randy Orton, the House of Horrors is going to be a warehouse full of pants, because we all know how much Randy Orton hates pants. And sure enough, wearing pants in the House of Horrors, which was, alright, sure. 3 count, JBL, you done, son. Here is your winner, and new! Say it, Pony Chimmel. Say it. Here is your winner, and new WWE Champion.
He's on his way to WrestleMania, and he's going to face the World Heavyweight Champion in a unification match. I can't wait to see what's going to happen between now and then.
The road to WrestleMania is never a smooth one, Taz, and I predict that this year's won't be any different.
Haha, JBL. So does he get his rematch clause before Mania, or is that just, they're just going to ignore that? I don't know. Anyhow, because I don't have time for another show here, but I do want to kind of get into the rest of this stuff for Payback real quick, so bear with me. So yeah, you had the first half of House of Horrors that they filmed days ago, because it was still daytime, or it was still light out in San Jose when the pay-per-view was happening, so that's always weird. But yeah, that whole bit of nonsense happened, and the show kind of went off the rails at that point, because it was kind of doing pretty good, and then that kind of killed the crowd for that whole bit of business. So you had the first half of House of Horrors, and then it went to Joe and Rollins, and Rollins won with like a roll-up, which kind of looked like his shoulder was kind of off the mat and whatever. Match was a little slow, and basically Joe spent the whole time working the knee, and then ended up getting rolled up. So one would imagine that the next pay-per-view, Extreme Rules, is going to have Joe and Rollins in a rematch. Then we came back to the end of House of Horrors, and as I mentioned in my predictions video, I'm like, wow, I bet they'll probably have Jinder and his crew attack Randy Orton and then give Bray Wyatt the victory, and they did, and that was alright. And then the main event, Braun Strowman, Roman Reigns, they had him all taped up from his separated shoulder, and just beat the crap out of Roman Reigns pretty much that entire match, and then wins the match. The right call, the right decision to put over Braun Strowman in that match. We had a post-match stairs beatdown. Just, he was not done. I'm not finished with you. That kind of stuff. Not sure if Roman was bleeding legit or if he had a blood capsule in his mouth. Either way, that crowd was just vicious. Like, Roman Reigns leaving, beaten up on his own 2 feet, and the crowd was chanting, "You deserve it." That's just mean. That's just mean. This continued into a Raw Talk segment. I went home. Like, that was the end of the show. We had the little ending card, and everything else. Went, oh, hey, Raw Talk. I was like, I'm going home. So I watched this morning. You had Braun Strowman continuing to be, I'm not finished with you, try to attack Roman, knocked off an ambulance door into a bunch of boxes, and then I guess Roman stood tall at the end, and that was kind of the end of that segment where Roman is on his feet and Braun is in a pile of boxes, etc., etc. I would say overall, I generally enjoyed Payback, but man, they hit the House of Horrors and just their momentum just nosedived because it was just this weird pre-taped stuff. The house wasn't even that spooky. It was like, alright, it's a crappy house, there are a bunch of dolls from the ceiling. Like every horror game, like every horror movie, it really didn't do anything. Apparently, Bray Wyatt bought a smart house and had like a Nest system to kind of change the lights on his smartphone. It was real dumb. And the one thing I wanted them to do was to reveal that Randy Orton was driving the limo, and they didn't do it. They didn't do the, buckle up, Teddy, where to, Stephanie thing. It just didn't happen. In any event, that's the show here for today. Thanks for watching. I'm attackslug. More videos every day, and I'll see you next time, right here on this channel. And I'm out.